Salutations everybody, it is Maddie here today with another Fallout mod update. A little over a week ago, Fallout Miami dropped its spring 2019 update, and I do understand I'm a bit slow on the draw here compared to my recent mods videos, but I'm still playing a bit of catch up incorporating all of this mod content to the channel. Furthermore, this is going to be their only update for a decent number of months, as they've dropped the whole monthly update shtick to relieve some pressure on the development team. So I actually feel that covering this a bit late may be a bit of a blessing in disguise to keep this in the minds of people for longer. So what I'll be doing in this video is actually brushing over what happens in this update, and then we'll geek out together to the role of gameplay that they slapped at the end. They said not to constantly expect that, but since we're here today, we're taking full advantage of it. Now, before we get into any of that gameplay, we want to cover information, and it starts off with some brand new music, so go ahead and take a listen. Earlier, I was commending mods like Skywind for going above and beyond for audio design and direction, but to create an entirely new radio on top of this whole new world for your mod is something else. This changes the game, man. It's over. This changes the entire game. The fact that they brought a whole new vacation radio with originally created music is insane, okay? I mean, we've seen our ambient music, we've heard fantastic environmental effects, sounds solely created for brand new weapons. We've heard it all, man, but to have a whole new radio incorporated into the game that isn't just music from some other period of time is insane. I mean, I still have my Christmas radio in Fallout 4, but for God's sakes, to originally create music for a mod, spectacular stuff. Really excited about that. Anyway, as someone who went dark on this mod to some extent, I was very interested in the Dreamers that were mentioned in this update. Now, apparently they wear these pre-war Halloween masks and will be key characters that you interact with throughout Miami. Now, it reminded me a little bit of the world building that we saw in Fallout 4 that I personally really liked, because in Fallout 4, you'd go into some houses and you'd see the Happy Halloween banner on the top of them. You'd see plastic Halloween pumpkins, you'd see little Halloween decor scattered all about. And while yes, it's a little bit strange that 200 years later after nukes dropped, the things that lived were actually Halloween decor, but still it helped build the world and it made sense for the time period that everything occurred in. So I like that Fallout Miami is taking advantage of some of that world building and bringing it into their game in a unique way with seemingly a cool sounding faction. Now, speaking of factions, there are two that are going to be incorporated into the main story. We have the Nuclear Patriots and the Enclave. Starting off with the Nuclear Patriots, they are actually someone we don't have visuals for, as they're still trying to nail down what they want them to look like, but they do have a concept for their leader, which is a little more militaristic. He's a proud leader. He doesn't want to admit that he needs the help of his aides. Really cool stuff. But on the other end is the more familiar Enclave, which is here because they had a team dispatched to Miami to recover a valuable pre-war asset. And they never specified what, and I imagine that's due to the fact that it may have to be a part of the story. But anyway, there was this operation called Operation Minerva, which was a mission by the Enclave to acquire a facility that seemingly failed, as there was a Operation Minerva 2, where Enclave soldiers performed recon and found hollow armor of their fallen comrades. So something happened there. Once again, very scarce on the details, and understandably so, because we really don't know what's going on there, and I'm sure it's saved for the story. Also, they confirmed in this update, and this was a shocker to me that they were going the opposite way, that you'll have a silent protagonist. Silent protagonists will be used compared to their original idea, which was to rehash lines from the base game. This decision also makes the Fallout 4 script extender mandatory, as it will be using the extended dialogue interface. I was really caught off guard that a hardcore Fallout 4 mod was actually trying to use the voice lines from the base game to incorporate dialogue. Do you realize how much that limits the writing in general, ladies and gentlemen, to try to make the responses that you're stitching together from audio from a 2015 game and use it to respond to characters that you're creating? It's severely limiting. So I'm very happy that they're completely taking the shackles off and saying, silent protagonist, let's do this. I feel that should have been the decision from the start. Perhaps they had a different approach because they did say they wanted to create a Fallout game that they enjoyed, and maybe they had a vision to create a great Fallout RPG to show that, hey, even if the protagonist is voiced, you can still make this a great game with choice and consequence. I don't know what their original vision was there, but it's good to know silent protagonist is coming in, because it really does give us more options, presumably on paper. Now, the Fallout Miami lore says that the US liberated Cuba from China, and actually in this game, there will be a museum commemorating that event, including a memorial alongside brand new power armor. I love this stuff, man. Let's go. Furthermore, there are roulette tables in game, so I believe there's going to be gambling making its way to Fallout Miami. That would certainly make sense, and that'll be a fantastic pastime for those of us who love sitting inside the casinos in New Vegas. Furthermore, they showed us snap jaws, which are seemingly mutated gators, and good God, they are terrifying. I'm sorry, Deathclaw, I don't know who's going to win in that battle. And lastly, there is an explorable golf course. Now, golf is my favorite summer hobby. I love me some golf. And when you put a golf course in Fallout 76, I was all over that. And when you put a golf course in a mod, I'm gonna be all over that too, baby. Let's go. I am pumped about that. But now it's time for some of the gameplay. And we just see the sole survivor, who is actually the main protagonist here. It's not going to be our character. It's going to be about the sole survivor. So I think it's going to hinge a little bit on Fallout 4's narrative, but we see him roaming around. We're seeing some environmental shots. And what stuck out to me was the usage of yellow. I think that really helps bring a bit of a tropical feel to Fallout Miami. You can even see some of the lifeguard protectrons roaming around, stuff that gives the game personality, things that you don't see in other mods, but that bring that Miami feel to the game. All in all, what I'm seeing here, I just want to be a part of. And actually, if you want a little taste of Fallout Miami, while it's not going to be the final version of the game, there is an early version, they're calling it, available on Nexus right now. You can head over there, you can download it and explore and get that feeling of Miami in your veins. And I thought this was a really interesting idea because they said none of this is going to be in the final product, but they're going to be updating this with NPCs and quests, which I thought was kind of crazy. It's like you're doubling your workload here, but nonetheless, I'm not going to complain. I'm excited to get a little taste of Fallout Miami, even if it's some scraps of it, and I really recommend you guys check this out. But anyway, that will wrap up this week's Fallout mod update. I'd love to hear from all of you in the comments down below. What are you thinking about Fallout Miami? Go send the team your support. As always, they're recruiting like literally any other mod team I cover. So go ahead, give them a look. I want you guys to give them all your love. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below, along with my Patreon. Do consider supporting that as it fuels all the content I create here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.